Joining us now on Blitz is Jeannie Ledford, cross-country coach at Towns County. Jeannie, thank you so much for your time once again on Blitz.
Always nice to be here.
Always nice to talk to you as well, and you got to be on cloud nine right now, a four-peat. You got there at Towns County. What are your feelings on being able to do this 4 years in a row, win that state championship?
This one was the hardest. It still has its soaked in. I've got the trophy still in my office, and I keep staring at it. But this one's unreal. This one's definitely been the hardest one.
Now, you say it's been the hardest, so talk about that a little bit. What is it that has made this one in particular harder than the previous three for the girls?
This year we had some assets join the team, and with being a tiny school, you have to share. And so daily with practice, it was a struggle of having to get them there all at the same time and having that culmination of just being able to compete against each other at practice. And to be able to come together and mesh as a team. The camaraderie has always been their strength. And so, again, this year, the new ones that came on proved to be assets, but still molding them and teaching them the ways of technique and details of how our team runs and just discipline and nutrition. It was definitely the hardest cross-referenced top season I've ever seen. I mean, just these kids are spread so thin, doing everything, but that's what I wanted. I wanted them to have the opportunity to do anything that they were interested in.
I imagine it's been a little bit different the last couple of years because previous years, your team has been on the rise until you got those state championships. But now, would it be true to say that most teams are coming out to get you every meet?
Yes, definitely. We've always liked being the underdogs and chasing after this dream, and now they're walking around with the target on their back. The mastery of how to look at it, though, as an opportunity over stress about it. I stress enough for every single one of them times 100, but then I keep making sure they understand that each season is a season within itself. Last year is gone, and so you're only as good as your last race. So no matter how many accolades we may have before us, you got to stay humble and realize that every year is a whole new story.
And the boys, they had quite a good season as well. Third place finish, which is 2 years in a row that they finished in the top three. I know you wanted more for them this year, but what can you say about the way that they performed for you this year?
I was so proud of them. It's just in men's cross country, it's a little bit harder. And they rose to the occasion. They lost their number 3 man the week before area due to injury. Another struggle that we've had this season has been injuries. They plagued us. They came in with pre-existing, and we tried to cross-train and do as much prevention as we could, but they caught up with us. But for the men, basically, I just put the challenge on them, and knowing that their performance was going to be just one out of courage, because there was so many talented men's team battling for those top slots, and to see them mesh together finally in the men's. It was a different top 7 every single race, and it's nice to see that depth, but it's hard as a coach to have to cut down to those 7. But definitely I was ecstatic. I had gave them the charge that I wanted them in that top 3. That would be their state championship, and so they still have that fire and that zest to want one of their own.
I'm sure. Let's switch gears just a little bit. Hannah Whitehead, unbelievable. 2 years in a row, state champion. She's only a sophomore, so the sky's the limit for her. But where does she rank among all the runners that you've had before? I know in recent memory you had Ansley Vardaman, who is incredible as well, and Caitlin Sheffield. But just how special is Hannah Whitehead?
Hannah Whitehead is the definition of that phrase. She may be small, but she is fierce. She is a pure delight. She was sick at area and literally lost by a footstep at the finish line. And that just literally kicked her fire up notches unknown. She is that silent readiness, that you never have to worry if you've got her coached correctly because you can see it in her eyes. And by far, I could never brag enough on the girls that have paved the way for the girls that I have now. Never would I ever take anything away from Ansley or Caitlin or, even before their time, the girls that started digging this trail. But Hannah still has this fantastic, naive grace of still finding what gear that she still has left in that tiny little body. I was wondering how that one could ever top winning an individual state championship. But with the mud that day, I had spoke that they had to finish with a shoe on because of their chip. And Hannah lost her shoe in the second mile, and sure enough, she'd come in finishing with one shoe on.
Wow, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Now I know there's been some hints over the last couple of years of you thinking about your time being done there at Towns County, but luckily for us, you always come back, which is great. I got to imagine that now you would love to get one for the thumb, and Hannah Whitehead, 2 years left. It seems like you'd want to stick around a couple more years at least.
Well, I honestly, Brian, it's the opposite. I've been trying to get out of this. I love my kids. I do. I love them. They're a pure blessing in my life, and just to have the opportunity to have that stressful but yet pleasant exhaustion at the end of the year. I don't think I sleep for their entire cross-country season. But basically, it's the good old Towns County administrators and athletic director that keep me doing this. And, we're all put on this planet to figure out what our job really is. And I guess this is what God's path is for me right now, even though I keep trying to get out of it. But this one was the hardest one. I mean, by far, in every facet, whether it was emotional, whenever that my kids are hurt, I'm hurt, and not being able to fix their injuries and watching them, how that emotionally impacted them, and trying to mesh everything together. Everything is definitely a new challenge each year, and I just try to keep it one at a time. And so, if there's meant to be a number 5, then somehow number 5 is going to come to pass, and we're going to do it humbly and as gracefully and as stubborn and as hardworking as we can. But I would be more than happy for somebody else to come in and coach them.
Well, selfishly, we would love to see you come back again. But Jeannie, always a pleasure talking to you about Towns County cross country. Wish you the best, and can't wait to talk to you again soon.
Thank you, John. It's good to talk to you.